And now, here's your host of Shaping Success, Wes Tankersley.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Shaping Success, a morning coffee. I feel like I need to do a different intro for this because it is what it is. It's a little bit different than what the other show is. But we've been doing this live here. This is, I think, number 19. It's funny because I've done, an episode a week for a long time, and this will probably put me over 100 episodes this year just by doing this every single day. But get your coffee, sit down, have a chat. I was thinking today about a lot of things that I had been wondering about, or not wondering, but my thought process. What's up, Nikki? If you guys are over on TikTok, if you want to get into the conversation, go over to Shaping Success with Wes Tankersley on YouTube, and you can get in on the conversation over there. So yesterday I was out. I got home from work, and it was kind of a slow day. Had an appointment, had a couple appointments. Sold two of them, and then I had one that isn't going to close until later, which happens. And when that happens, you end up waiting to get paid. But you have to go through the process, right? And that process is one of those things that you have to continue to cultivate, right? You have to do it over and over again. And in sales, it's funny because you can go and do your job over and over and over again. And I'm always trying to make it better, trying to educate the customer, trying to give them a reason to want to purchase something from me. And it's not always easy, and it doesn't always happen. And you have to be able to accept the fact that you're not going to get every single sale. But you go in there with confidence thinking that you're going to get every single sale every single time. And you do the work. And a couple months ago, I don't know how long it's been, probably 6 months ago, I went to go purchase a four-wheeler, and I have a friend that works at a place where they sell those. Sorry, I'm like thinking. I got this thought process of like how I wanted to unravel out of my head. And anyway, I hadn't talked to him. He's a guy I went to school with. I hadn't talked to him in a long time. He actually watched the show. Chuck, if you're here or you're seeing this, this one is for you because this is what I was thinking about this morning. I'm going to have to read this book again. But the process, right? We have this process. We get to the point where we get scared about finishing something, or nothing's going to happen, or it's not going our way. We don't trust the process. Okay. We end up giving up because the process is monotonous. It gets old. I've been in sales for 4.5 years at this company, but 11 years before that. So, I've almost got 16 years of sales experience, and I've been turned down time and time again. And, I could have just give up, but there was this great book that Chuck had told me about, The Go-Giver. I read that, and he told me about another one called Pound the Stone and Chop Wood, Carry Water. And these books are great because they're written by this guy. The Go-Giver is by someone else, but Chop Wood, Carry Water, and Pound the Stone are by Joshua Medcalf. And it's interesting because the process is something that you have to do. You have to do it over and over again. And in both of those books, they talked about being able to continue doing what you're doing. Like even when you're not done, you're not done. Or even when you're done, you're not done. Chop Wood, Carry Water is, here's the title. It's Joshua Medcalf, Chop Wood, Carry Water, How to Fall in Love with the Process of Becoming Great, right? Nikki, they're good books, yeah. And I appreciate Chuck sharing them with me because although they're fiction, they have a very abundant amount of life lessons in them. And I think that what happens is we get lost in the process, and we decide that we're going to give up, and that's when we fail, is when we give up. But the process of chopping wood and carry water in that book, it's like every single day you have to do these things, right? You need water to live and you need heat. And so in that book, the guy's training to become a samurai. And so he's going every single day. His mentor is telling him, you got to go chop wood, carry water. And you need to make the water, or you need to get the water to your house, because like their houses don't have water and they don't have wood. So like you go down, chop the wood, get the wood back. And it's a process. It's something that you do every single day. And that's, I think a lot of times we get lost in what other people do. We see the end result, but we don't know what work they did to get there. And so I pulled up some quotes from this book, and I honestly, like, I would tell you should read it. Like, if you're struggling to get things done, or with the things in life that are monotonous. And what brought this up was honestly, like yesterday, we're trying to sell a house, right? And I got a bunch of feedback on it. And one of them was that the landscaping wasn't done well. I haven't had time to do it. Now, I had a friend of mine come over the other day, and he's like, yeah, we can come over and do it. It'll cost you this much, or you can do it yourself. Maybe you just lay the weed barrier down and do a few buckets a day. The rocks are freaking heavy, and it's going to take a lot of work, and it's monotonous. It's like chopping wood and carrying water, and that's what I was thinking about. It's like, fill the bucket, pour the bucket, fill the bucket, pour the bucket, fill the bucket, pour the bucket. I just got to continue to do that over and over again until it's covered with rock, right? And I told myself today, or this morning, I didn't sleep well again last night, but I was telling myself over and over again, all right, well, we got to get this done. Like, these are the things that are in my mind. Like, I got to get this done. It's in the forefront of my mind. I need to get it done. Number one, I got to go to work today. I got to make some sales. We got to get the house clean. Someone's going to look at it. So we're going to show it. And I'm going to do 10 buckets at least today. And that sounds kind of fun. It sounds like, oh, well, you're just being a wuss. You can't, it's only 10 buckets. But the fact of the matter is that it's a lot. And I'll probably do more than that, but I'm going to do at least 10. And if I can do that, today and tomorrow, that's 20 buckets. And, maybe it takes 30 buckets to finish it, or 40 buckets to finish it. But I'm going to get close to getting it done, and then it'll be done. But you have to continue to trust that process. It's kind of like the chopping wood, carry water. Like, you need to do it. I have to do it. It has to get done. So, yeah. Sleep is kind of a fleeting thing for me lately, and it is what it is. I've been sick, and so I have sinus issues, and they rear their ugly head about this time. And so my nose is running, but it's not running. It's like an internal running, and then it's draining, and it's giving me a sore throat, and I'm trying to figure out how to stop that. So like at 1 o'clock this morning, I got up, got some cough drops, hoping that would stop the soreness. Then my mind starts wandering. Can't go back to sleep. Got up, had some Theraflu, and then went back to sleep for a couple hours. So it's not like I'm not sleeping very well. It's not good sleep. But anyway, we'll get through it. We got people arriving today from out of town, getting ready for Thanksgiving, and it'll be fine. But this Chop Wood, Carry Water book, just talks about the process over and over again. And even when you feel like things aren't going your way, you have to trust the process, and you have to do the small things to take care of the big things. And the small things in this case are chopping wood and carrying water so that you have heat and you have water, right? So here's some of the quotes from that thing. Tracy over on TikTok, thank you so much for tapping that screen. I appreciate it. It keeps people coming, and I know that I'm paying more attention to YouTube, but thank you. All right, so here's one of the first ones. All right, and this is kind of sets the tone for everything, because I think that a lot of times people don't understand this, but everyone wants to be great until it's time to do what greatness requires, right? So a lot of times in your mind, and I think about this, when I was growing up, I was a little kid, and I was thinking, I want to be a quarterback for the 49ers because my idol was Joe Montana, right? Like, I'm going to be a quarterback for the 49ers. This is what I'm going to do. Love Joe Montana. great quarterback, greatest quarterback of all time. Controversy. I mean, Brady was pretty good, even though I didn't like him. He's pretty good. He won more Super Bowls. I'm not admitting it. Montana was better. But you don't understand those things that those people do to be great. There are some people, like you look at okay, so we're talking about the NFL. You look at like Johnny Manziel. Do you think Johnny Manziel worked as hard, talking about how good he was and all that stuff? Showing up, partying, not doing the work, not knowing the playbook, not doing all those things. And I know for a fact that Joe Montana, because if you read Bill Walsh's book, you know exactly what he did, was taking the step. Like you think about like a quarterback, he has a 3-step drop. Joe Montana knows exactly, like if you measured out that 3-step drop, it would probably be like exactly like however many feet he went back. So nine yards. It'd be exactly 9 yards every single time. Jerry Rice is running down the field. He's going to take 3 steps down and he's going to take 3 steps over. Every single time it's going to be exact because they have created this process that is supposed to be exact. Joe knows exactly where Jerry's going to be. He's going to catch the ball at the same place and the same time every single time. And if he doesn't, then it's a mistake and they need to practice that. Michael Jordan, greatest basketball player of all time. I don't care who you think is. It was Michael Jordan. The guy practiced harder than he played. He practiced harder than he played in a game. And the reason was because if he could get through practice going as hard as he could all day, every day, then the game would be a breeze. That didn't mean that he didn't play hard in the game, but he practiced harder. Okay? So the process of getting there or getting to the game, you had to do the work. So every single day, no matter how tired you are, no matter how much sleep you didn't get, to be the best, you have to do the most. And you have to do what is required to be great. Okay? That's all there is to it. Right, I'm not a fan of Tom Brady, but he takes care of himself and eats healthy. He's as much as same as Kobe Bryant. Yeah, you're right. Kobe Bryant, same thing. Tracy's talking about Kobe Bryant over on TikTok. Kobe Bryant was the same way. Like, I have read stories about Kobe Bryant that I just thought were crazy, but it was so true. Like he's up at like 4 a.m, taking shot after shot after shot after shot after shot. You don't get good at something by not doing it. That's all there is to it. You practice harder. You be the first one there. Like if you expect everyone to be that good, then you elevate yourself to that level. And that's one thing that Tom Brady did too. Like you think about it, like he may not have those great players around him, but he would expect everyone to work hard and he would work hard too. And because of him working hard, everyone else wanted to work hard, so they elevated it. So they did what was required to be great. And that's how these teams win. You can see that common goal. They all want to work hard. And then, they want to elevate other people. All right. Dream big, start small, be ridiculously faithful. Dream big, start small, be ridiculously faithful. Think about that. So this is how things get accomplished, right? You have a big dream, right, of what it's going to look like. Okay? Are you going to reach that dream right off the bat? No. But what can you do? You can put all the puzzle pieces in the right place to make that happen. So I think about like exercise, right? So I sometimes really need to take my own advice with exercise. I suck at push-ups. I'm telling you, like they are hard for me. My body is just this weird shape. All right, I'm 6'3". My arms are really long. My upper body is a little bit bigger than my lower body. And it's just hard to do them, right? For me. It always has been. When I lift weights, bench press is one of the toughest ones for me. I could squat a ton. My legs, I said my lower body's a little bit smaller. It's not really actually. Like my quads are huge. I'm really strong. In my legs, I could squat, I could deadlift. Legs, no problem. People skip leg day. Screw that. I love leg day. That's my deal. All right. Upper body, not as strong. And it's weird because my arms are ridiculously long. My torso is long. My legs are short. I guess that's how I should put it. So like you have that angle that is not correct, right? Well, to do push-ups, you know, I want to do 100 push-ups. There's the big dream, right? It starts with one, right? Starts with one. So if you can do one and continuously do one, that's small, right? And then be ridiculously faithful doing it over and over again until you do more. So I could get there. I could make it. I could do more push-ups. I should do more push-ups. I got to do it though. And I'm not being ridiculously faithful. That's my problem, is I should do it. Okay. So big goal, small steps, over and over again. Dream big, start small, be ridiculously faithful. I was going to go to this. There's a big line out of this book right now, but I see this small one and I'm just like, how many of you, you date someone and, or like I think about this with my wife, right? Like you're dating or whatever. It's like you get in the car, we're going to go out to eat. Where do you want to eat? Right? I feel like this is the biggest number one fight that anyone ever has. What do you want to eat? I don't know. You give them an idea. All right, well, why don't we go here? No, I don't want that. Okay, how about we go here? No, I don't want that. It's like, oh, we're going to Taco Bell. Nope, don't want tacos. All right, McDonald's. Nope, don't want that. What do you want? I don't know. That's the conversation, right? Even choosing to do nothing is still making a choice. That's the first thing that came to my mind when I was thinking about that. I don't have a whole lot to say about that other than the fact that this is the way that the conversation goes, right? Like even choosing nothing, I don't want anything, is better than saying, I don't know. Like I don't want it. I just make a choice, right? Even choosing to do nothing is still making a choice, okay? That is seriously the conversation that happens all the time. It's funny, I'm looking over at TikTok, and TikTok has joined. Interesting. We can go anywhere we want, but not there. Yeah. It's a conversation. It's a conversation that happens. Sometimes I just want to make the damn choice, but the reality of it is like, it's funny how if I'm going to go anywhere, and if those of you know me, I'm going to go to a barbecue joint. And if my wife's going to go somewhere, she likes steak, but like she'd prefer like the Olive Garden, like carb food. Like I don't like a lot of pasta. I don't like I'm like, give me meat and I'll be okay. So that's kind of the way I look at it. All right. This is a big one. This will be the one that we'll end with here because I don't want this to go too long. These are nice, short, little punchy episodes. Yeah. Tracy says I'm usually pretty agreeable and say whatever is fine by me. It's funny. I just think about that. It's like, oh, where do you want to go? We'll go, wherever you want. And then I tell her, and it's like, nope, I don't want that. Kind of funny. Yeah, meat. It's the meats. Speaking of that, I have to barbecue a lot of meat this weekend. So one of the requirements of being me, because I love to barbecue, and I was talking to my boss about this yesterday, he's like, how dare they require you with that excellent skill you have to barbecue? And I enjoy it. I do. But I'm just like thinking about like, how am I going to get this all done? And it's literally like this. Okay. So she made lasagna tonight for her family. Her family's coming into town. My wife did, Christine. And so she made lasagna tonight. Tomorrow, I'm barbecuing ribs. Thursday, I'm barbecuing the turkey. And then Friday, I don't know what I'm doing. But Saturday, I'm barbecuing a brisket. It's like, easier or easy, a little bit harder, a little bit harder. We got to invite some people over on Saturday for this brisket because there's too much. Like the amount of people that are going to be here on Saturday is less than the amount that are going to be here on Thursday, but it takes like 16 hours to cook a damn brisket. So anyway, whatever. I like to barbecue. I haven't got out since I've lived here because I've just been in this funk where it's like I'm not going to live here forever. I haven't opened up the big RecTech because I have 2 RecTechs. So I haven't unwrapped the big RecTech. So I haven't taken it out of its cover. And so I have to do that today because if I don't, I gotta chop wood, carry water. So I got to get my 10 buckets of rock out today, at least 10. And then I need to clean out the RecTech, make sure there's no black widows in it because it's just been sitting on the back porch there. And living out in the country, there are so many spiders out here. It's crazy, which I need to spray the spiders again because I see them in the house and that'll drive my wife crazy if she knows that. But don't tell her. Anyway, back to the lesson. Tracy, I want to say thank you over there on TikTok. She just tapped that screen at least 2.5K times, which is awesome. Okay. This is a hard one. Okay. It's easy to say, hard to do. And that's everything that we're talking about today. It's easy to say, hard to do, but well worth it if you can do it. Meep, what's happening? Meep is over in the TikTok. All right. Yesterday's episode was actually brought to you by Meep because he responded to something that Justified All-Star said, and it really got me thinking, which is sometimes what happens. All right. So we encourage you, take off the training wheels. Focus on the true mental toughness. Focus on commitments and controllables. You can't control the results anyway. Love people, serve people, provide value, burn your goals, fall in love with the process of becoming great. There's a lot there, right? So a lot of times we'll leave the training wheels on. We'll be afraid to do something because we're afraid of the outcome of what's going to happen, right? How many of you, when you were learning to ride a bike, fell off your bike? You take off the training wheels and like all of a sudden it's like, okay, here we go. I'm scared. I don't want to do it. I don't have that comfort of knowing that if I tip or go this way or that way, that I might survive and I might not fall off my bike. Okay. But you have to focus. You have to focus, right? You have to be tough. You have to be willing to fall, because if you can't fall, then you can't get back up and you can't try again, right? You're not always going to fall, but you have to be willing to do it. Focus on commitments and controllables. You can't control the result anyway, okay? So we need to learn that you may fail and it may be tough, but what you can control is the process of how you did it. You can control how hard you try. You can control the things that you can do, but you can't control the outcome. But you can do everything you want to put yourself in place to get the outcome that you want, right? Sometimes you don't get the outcome. Sometimes you do. But if you're doing all the right things, you may get the outcome. If you don't do the right things, then you may not get the outcome, right? So understanding that it's not always going to happen right off the bat. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to work. But just like we were talking about, you take those 3 steps back. You know where the target is. You throw it at the target. You make the completion. You don't take those 3 steps back and throw where the target is. You'll never make that completion, right? Love people, serve people, provide value. This is the hardest one here for me, right? Because I feel like I want to serve people. I feel like I want to love people and I want to provide value. And sometimes I wonder if I'm providing anyone value. And I know that I am, but that's the self-doubt in me, like over and over again. Am I doing the right thing? Okay. Value is something that you have to figure out what it is. What value are you providing? And that's easy for me, like, to think about in sales, how I'm providing value to someone because I'm providing them with something to cover their windows and allow them to do that. But like in life, what do you do to provide value? And I think a lot of times, like, I do it, but I wonder if I'm doing enough. And I just continue to do it. Burn your goals. And now that may sound counterintuitive to me, but burning your goals is like, for me, it's like I'm doing so much to try and reach those goals that I'm just burning them up, right? But today, the very last part of this thing is the most important thing to think about, okay? And Tracy's saying afraid of failure, like, it's okay to fail. We have to understand that. Fall in love with the process of becoming great. Fall in love with the process. The process sucks, right? But just like we were talking about carrying those rocks in 5-gallon buckets, I thought about it yesterday. I'm sitting here. These are big rocks. It's a pain in the butt. But I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, that looks pretty good. I don't have it all out. But in the end, I'm going to think about how many buckets of rocks I moved over there and how good it looks. And the process of loading those buckets and going and dumping them and carrying them and loading them and dumping them and carrying them, loading them and dumping them over and over again is going to get me something that looks great. Okay? So the process of doing the work will get you the results you want. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun sometimes, but the end goal of looking at the product that you created is the reward. Okay? That's it. That's what I got. I wasn't always the great Meep. Once I was just Meep. Yeah. That's the way it is. But you got to chop that wood and carry water. You got to trust the process. Okay? All right. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to do this again tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm going to try and go. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to do it. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do it. We got 3 more days of this until, Thanksgiving. We get that process going. I hope that you guys have an awesome, awesome day. And remember, if you want to help the show grow, join the Patreon. You can go to westankersley.com to find that. As little as $3 a month. We can make this thing better every single day. Thank you to everyone for hanging out and going along with me on this this kick of what I've been doing. Morning coffee, it's a great time. Go out there and beat the day. You got it.